I don't know about you guys, but I just really, really, really want to spend time with people again. Hey everybody, it's Jason. Just wanted to give you guys a little youth ministry update for today. So here's what we're going to talk about. Let's take a look at how we can use this time where we're all sort of stuck in the house as a time of spiritual growth. I'm not going to so much give you a list of things that I would recommend doing, or things you got to do, or things like that, but just sort of some examples and maybe, I don't know, a healthy dose of inspiration as we go through this. And I want to look at this quarantine, this social distancing, this getting stuck in the house as sort of a great opportunity for us, and look at it in the light of what we can see in the scriptures and the early life of the church. So, one of the things that I think I take away from all of this is we've got more time with ourselves now than we know what to do with. And we're all stuck in a house, in a place we're not used to being in all day, every day. We're all sort of scared. We're all a little uncertain of what's to come next. We're all a little fearful. And there's something unseen at play that is out of our control. And along that note, very little of what used to be in control in our lives is under our governance anymore. You know, we can't control, for the most part, our daily activities we used to. We can't control our schedule. We can't, maybe some of us feel like we can't control our safety. We can't, I mean, just personal experience, we can't walk the way we want to walk in the supermarket. You know, they put arrows on the ground now and you got to follow them, and you got to stay so far back from the person in front of you. Like, you kind of feel like you've lost a little bit of your autonomy in all this. And I read a reflection the other day that I sort of wanted to speak on. It was a very simple couple sentences, but it sort of spurred me into thinking. From the end of Good Friday until Easter Sunday, even to an extent thereafter, and then from Ascension to Pentecost, the apostles were locked in a room with each other, with people they're not used to spending this large amount of time with. They were fearful, and there was a lack of control and understanding of what was going to happen next. That sounds really familiar to me right now. That's a lot of what I'm going through, and maybe a lot of what you're going through as well. But on the other side of it was something amazing. On the other side of Good Friday and the dark and quiet and fear that was Holy Saturday was Easter Sunday. That we're going to be experiencing it in a different way than we're used to, but we're going to be experiencing it almost in the same way that the apostles would have experienced it 2,000 plus years ago. We're going to have to experience Easter locked in our homes, fearful of what's going to happen to us next. So I think when we, and I hope you do, take the time to read, the Easter gospel passages. They only send one or two people out at a time, just like we do to the grocery store. Everyone else is stuck at home, waiting for the word back. I think we might have an easier time putting ourselves into those stories. Another note on the apostles and the disciples being stuck in the room with those same people yet again, from Ascension to Pentecost. They're in the upper room together, fearful, day in, day out. We kind of get the sense when you read it that they're not really leaving because they don't know what's safe and what's not. Do you know what that time was? It was the first novena. It was 9 days where they took great fear and anxiety and trepidation and uncertainty and this lack of autonomy, and they turned it into something beautiful through their prayer and their reverence and their longing for a personal connection with Jesus. And in both instances, albeit differently than we're experiencing now, there was something unseen moving in their midst. The Holy Spirit. Moving them into deeper understanding of the resurrection. Moving them into deeper longing for a relationship with Jesus. Moving them out of fear and into confidence. For those of you especially going through the sacrament of confirmation, take a minute to read through that story of the apostles in the upper room after the resurrection and before Pentecost, and refresh your memory with what happens at Pentecost. A new outpouring of the Holy Spirit upon these men and women who follow Jesus, and an inspiration to share him with others. Use this time to grow in your longing for Jesus, for his Holy Spirit, for his will in your life, so that when the doors of our own little upper rooms open up again, it can be like a new Pentecost. And this time not to a world who's confused as to what's going to happen next, but to a world who's just joyful to be in each other's presence again. And we can live in that joy with other people and explain partially where our joy comes from. Because if we're united with Christ, our joy comes from him. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited to get back to Mass, to sing the hymns off key at church, to hear the people around me in response. You know, I was speaking to Father the other day after we wrapped up one of the live broadcasts for Mass, because we use my cell phone as the camera to do the Facebook live stream whenever we live stream to Facebook. Because I can get on a different network, and so we're not pulling from the Wi-Fi. But so I can't see exactly what's going on that live stream as we're going, because of the way the camera has to face. But when we're done, I pull it off and I save the video and share the video, and then check all the comments from the feed. And one of the coolest things I think I've seen, and it makes me just hunger for wanting to be at Mass more, is there are people in the comment thread that respond, take the time to type the responses that they would say during Mass, and with your Spirit, Lord, hear our prayer, things like that. It just makes me want to hear all those voices again really soon. And I miss you guys, I miss our chats, I miss hanging out with you guys, I miss growing in our faith, I miss leading Bible studies, I miss teaching, I miss all this stuff. It's made me realize how hungry I am for my own faith, for something that I guess, in a sense, I've taken for granted for a long time. I'm ready to do more with it when this is all over. And so I hope you guys can get to a small place with that too, because then we can do this together. And we can enter into that joy-filled, the joy-filled sort of Easter that we're going to have when we can all finally leave our houses. Probably not by this Sunday, but, whenever that is. And we can spread joy to all of those who are just as excited as we are about being part of the world again. And we can sort of take that time where human interaction is, for lack of a better term, allowed again, to really use our interactions with others as a way to share the love and joy that Jesus has for us. And one final moment, or one final thought at the end of this here. That longing that we have for interaction with our friends, with other members of our family, with those that we're connected with that we just can't connect to right now. We're trying to sort of fill that gap with video conferences or more phone calls, or maybe you're writing letters, or sending more instant messages or Snapchats, or whatever, just to be connected with people. I see it. I do it too. That longing that we feel for that personal connection is the same longing that Jesus feels for us each and every day. And it's the longing he has to be in relationship with you, to be connected to you, to talk to you, and to spend time with you. So take a moment and look at your own heart and see where the longing is, and realize that Jesus feels the same way about you. And see where you can connect with him today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you guys all very soon. Please go and check out any of the other videos that we've put together if this is your first one, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or comments or concerns. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much, and God bless.